Hello, hello, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ivanovsky,
And I am Klystron.
and we are casting a TvP on Antiga Shipyard, MLG version.
Between Nihility, the red Terran, and Behemoth, the teal Protoss. So, this is it's a pretty big map.
What the hell? What the hell is teal? Why? Let's just call him blue. Can we just call him blue?
I like teal better because he's not blue.
Fine.
It's a very, very different spectrum, or a very different, color frequency.
I like to start my day with a pylon first.
Not a bad plan. And 10 depot, nothing too silly going on just yet.
Both players opening up very standard and scouting, but it does look like Behemoth is either unaware that cross spawn is enforced, or he's going to be doing some kind of early proxy cheese in not his opponent's base.
Yes, this is the MLG version of Antiga Shipyards, which means cross spawns is enforced. And there are supply depots down at the bottom of the ramps. So.
And our red Terran hero already knows this and has nicely set up his rally points to run the SCV right into the base and see everything. And meanwhile, it looks like Behemoth is going to be a bit behind on the information race because of his lack of map awareness. We are getting a gateway
and we have
and a barracks.
And we have a gas coming from Nihility.
Gas from both players. Very typical openings so far.
Yep.
Can't really tell much from this.
So this gas means that we aren't going to see a super fast command center out of Nihility. And we aren't going to see like a super fast expand out of Behemoth. Generally, one.
No, that's
Yeah,
true. Gas does mean we're not, trying to do any kind of one Rex expand.
Nihility could go for something like a Reaper expand, although that is not very standard in TvP.
No, and judging from Nihility's supply depot placements, I would say he wants to have the option of throwing down a bunker there. I don't think, just looking at that he really has expanding on his mind.
Yeah, it looks like he's either going to put a third supply depot there or a bunker. So we might be in for some Banshees. Actually, no, I doubt that because he's getting the tech lab on that barracks. It's a Reaper.
Yeah, no, you'd have to have a factory by now and be.
It is a Reaper, so this actually, I believe, is going to be a Reaper expand. Or
and
at
why
least
not?
Reaper
I mean,
command
when something you can make it work, but your opponent isn't expecting it, that's perfectly reasonable to do too. We do have a zealot running 1.5 miles across this map.
And I think Nihility's going to lose his scouting SCV.
Oh,
nope,
it's going to be close.
Mind.
No, he's on. Oh, God, keep running. Ah!
And he makes
is
it.
Going to run away, and that zealot is just going to go back to the watchtower to keep his probe company.
Yep, and so there goes the command center from Nihility. Now this Reaper is pretty useful on this map because there's this little tiny ledge here that you can hop up into the back of the base, or you can hop up into the natural and bypass the ramp.
Reapers, the Convulsus and Reaper step.
Yes.
And also a fun place to put siege tanks.
Very fun place to put siege tanks.
We do have a Stalker running out across the map. Is this Reaper going to bypass the Stalker? Behemoth is running his units
nope, he's bringing
into the
the
middle.
Stalkers back. He suspects.
Has he seen it?
I
don't think he's seen it.
I don't know. I don't know. That's rather odd.
Very, very interesting spider sense out of Behemoth here.
Yeah.
And Nihility's Reaper is just sitting right outside of the range of view of those Stalkers, so he's... Both players really
Nihility
just...
does see the Nexus.
Microing versus what they don't see. So Nihility scouts the Nexus, but does not let his opponent see that he has a Reaper, the vision range on buildings that warp in being very short.
I think Behemoth suspects there's a Reaper, because he's putting those Stalkers into the smoke to catch a Reaper hopping up the little ledge.
Is he putting those Stalkers into the smoke? Because they look out of the smoke to me.
Well, one of them is slightly in the smoke.
Those Stalkers are going to see all of nothing until that Reaper runs into the base.
Yeah, I mean, but they'll catch him. His Stalkers, pretty quick. 2.9, 5, versus 2.95, so they'll be able to shoot him down.
Not a whole lot of scouting out of either player. All Behemoth has seen so far is a barracks and a gas, and Nihility doing a little bit better, sees that expand, taking an expand of his own. But for the most part, these players are just sort of playing off of what they expect.
Yeah. I suspect that Nihility's game plan is going to be, you know, heavy bio. He's getting this factory now. He's probably going to drop a reactor on that factory so that he can put that reactor onto a starport, so he can crank out medevacs. Probably going to get an observer for our Protoss player, and then maybe an immortal.
Quick stim is about to finish. I wonder if we're going to see some pressure out of that. I don't think so, though, because we have +1 coming up behind it.
He might try to attack with +1, but I don't think so.
I'm going to go with that was largely a defensive stim.
Yeah, I mean, there were 3 gates done for Behemoth. Still looks like... Yeah, there goes the Robo Bay, the Colossus Den. So, looks like he's just going to go straight for Colossus. There's that reactor going down for the starport. More barracks. Observer moving in. Might actually get taken down by this turret. And boom goes the observer.
That's going to be pretty.
That's pretty key. That observer did not see much. He saw the factory, did not see the starport. He did not see the other barracks.
He may have seen some Marines and Marauders.
Yeah, but...
I mean, with that, you pretty much have to assume that the Terran's going to be getting his starport up here. I mean, you're going to go Colossus to counter the bio, and he's going to go Vikings and Medevacs to supplement the bio and counter the Colossus.
I mean, he should suspect that there's a... He has not seen the expansion, but he should at least suspect that there's an expansion back there.
Oh yeah, at this point of the game, I mean, you can just assume that there's an expansion back there, because if there's not, you've won anyway, and you have nothing to lose by assuming that your player is doing the proper thing.
Nihility is going for the long term and getting a 3rd command center.
That's right. Speaking of expansions, meanwhile, it looks like the Protoss gonna get that extended thermal lance up. I would not be surprised if we see some kind of 2-base timing here.
Yeah, well, the Protoss, I think, is looking to take his 3rd here soon.
I don't know.
It's going to go down right now. Because that's what the units moved out there to make sure there were no units hiding up there. Reaper was gone.
No, I wasn't willing to quite assume that, because when I saw those units move out there, this is something I'll often do in my games. Play like I'm going to take a 3rd, but just don't take the 3rd when I'm all-inning.
Oh,
because
man.
Because if you have, say, an SCV up here, and he sees a whole bunch of units running out to clear out any scouts, what are you going to assume? You're going to say, oh, he's taking a 3rd. And then you're going to macro up and take your 3rd and die to a 2-base push. But I see what you're talking about, Josh. Why don't you...
So, there is a dropship that moved along the left side of the map, just out of vision of that observer. And this could do some damage, although there are 4 stalkers here. He's probably going to have to turn away. Not going to really do much.
that is one poor observer who did not do his job.
Yeah, I don't know what this observer is doing out there.
Love to see some patrol on that. Nihility is going to see that there's a Colossus on the field with the scouting racks, and he's going to drop Marauders. Another medevac.
So
4 Marauders versus 4 Stalkers and there's a medevac involved. Who do you think's going to win?
Well, the Marauders have +1/+1. The Marauders are definitely going to take that.
Some sniping tech. The counter to buildings is in the Protoss base.
He could get a Colossus, possibly.
Oh, 3 Marauders versus Colossus. I mean, that's... You have to be careful with that. You have to not let yourself get sniped. The Marauders are going to run away, though, and the Colossus will be able to clean up the Marines, or at least force them into the medevac. But we have another drop at the Nat. While meanwhile, the Marauders are back in the base, picking away at the buildings.
Wow, Nihility has killed 22 workers. These Marines are like hero Marines.
Oh, he is absolutely all over this base. And
oh, man, and the Stalkers completely miss.
Oh, that is really... Well, no, they made up. And this is the real problem with playing Protoss is you just find yourself running around your buildings, and Terran can be much more mobile and just fly right over them.
Yep.
I mean, how much time have those Colossus spent running in circles around this blob of buildings in the main?
Well, I mean, you also have to... One of the key points to remember is SimCity. You need to have good SimCity. It's like right here, there's only one way, one little like 2 hex wide space that units can get in and out of Behemoth's main right now.
We have another drop coming in.
So they have to go all the way around.
I think the Colossus are well positioned to prevent this from doing very much damage.
This factory has more than paid for itself and has just seen everything. Looking back at Nihility's base, we have a 4th command center down. We have a total of 6 barracks, 2 starports, 1 with reactor. Looks like not all of his barracks are rallied. It looks like he missed a couple marauders there.
One thing I would like to point out, though, is that in the income tab, even though Nihility has just killed a huge number of probes, the Protoss is still ahead 64 to 52 harvesters.
Yes.
Which I think is enough to more than make up for the difference of mules.
It definitely is.
Nihility's income is temporarily higher right now, but I mean, he's got 9 mules. That's not exactly sustainable.
Well, Nihility's slipped up a little bit and didn't quite move his command center out as quickly as he could have. And Behemoth's been doing a good job of constantly producing probes, keeping up saturation. So while, you know, Nihility did kill a lot of workers, it's still just about, it kind of evened things up. Things are still reasonably even.
Oh, yeah, I would say Behemoth is still very much in this game. I mean, he's had to play turtley so far, and so Terran's basically had a free pass to get his 3rd up, while Protoss has had to fight. But we do have 8 High Templar down now, gaining some energy, and Storm is about to finish, which can be very scary against Bio Viking.
Behemoth is behind a little bit, but his +2/+2 is about to finish. He has a lot of High Templar. Storm is done, and that's a lot of storms right there. And there are a lot of gateways going down. We do have a nuke being built, and we have a Raven being built.
I mean, when you're Terran, you may as well use all the broken stuff.
Yes. Yes. Nukes tend to be pretty decent if you can draw the Protoss into a position where they're going to land. They're also very good when you get maxed. Adding on a couple of Ghost Academies and having a few extra missile silos, a few extra nuclear missiles. They're very good.
Income. Both players over 70 harvesters now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's to the point now where you're starting to have a smaller army when you hit 200 supply because you've got so many workers. Although really, I mean, that only really applies to our Protoss friend here, Terran, being able to just bring SCVs along for the fight much more readily.
And both of these players are actually doing very well on their macro. They're both keeping their money pretty low.
Oh yeah, this is good. This is gonna be a nice epic clash in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily care for Nihility putting up all these bunkers here. He's kind of turtled himself to 3 bases, and the Protoss is taking a 4th.
Yeah, Nihility is going to be able to deny this 4th though.
Oh yeah, Medivacs, lol.
And he is going to send out a handful of zealots over there to deal with that drop. That is very, very smart move on Behemoth's part. Not sending his entire army, just a handful of zealots, just enough to clean up the drop. That way he can't get caught out of position by, say, another drop or a nuke.
I would have liked to see him send something that can also shoot air, though, because we are just going to have the medevac load back up and laugh at these zealots.
Surprise!
And fly to the 3rd. Okay.
Now...
Oh, but there are the High Templar. Feedback!
Oh, we have a nuke! Oh, but the Ghost runs out of energy and dies. So now
I did reveal to the Protoss that nukes are on the field, which
I think
hopefully I'd like to see some observers in response. Some observers.
This is
or a Dark Shrine. That's that's a good counter to everything as well.
Behemoth is in a very good spot right now. He has his +3/+3 is finished. He's got a lot of High Templar, and Nihility is only on 2-1.
Oh yeah, this is.
So, but Nihility's got a pretty decent position here, and these Zealots are clumping.
Oh, where are the storms?
But there are no ghosts.
Show me the money, Storm.
Oh man.
Storm your own units. Okay. Oh, there it is.
But wait a minute. This nuke is not really going to get much. It might get the High Templar.
What is that army missing?
Oh my god!
What does that army have?
High detection. Observers. Always build observers. Always build observers.
Oh, come on. You Behemoth, you saw that there were
oh man. This ghost with 6 High Templar kills. Oh my god, there's 5 nukes?
6 High Templar kills and 2 additional near-death experiences.
Ivanovsky, are you seeing this? There are 5 nukes. And while that's going on, there is a drop in the main of 4 Marauders and another.
We have 2 drops going on.
Yeah, 2 drops.
The 4th is gone for Protoss.
He's probably going to lose these probes here. I think Nihility is going to be able to clean up this army in his main, and
this is. Wow, to Nihility's credit, he's done an excellent job keeping his Terran macro up. I mean, this isn't what it's supposed to look like. When a giant Terran army clashes with a giant Protoss army, the Terran is not supposed to be the first one to remax.
No.
But he's well on his way.
I'm not entirely sure what is going on.
I'll tell you what's going on. Protoss has 3,700 minerals.
Yeah. 39? Oh, now he's warping stuff in.
I think Protoss is just a little bit out of his league right here and not able to keep up with his APM. I have a feeling if we went back, we'd see that these warp gates were less than entirely active, and that is what cost him the game.
Yes.
So, I mean, 2 things here. 1, detection, and 2...
Because he should have been able to warp in enough units. With this many warp gates, there are 11 warp gates here.
Oh yeah, no, you needed a deep pylon so that you could reinforce. Because that's what Protoss does to abuse Terran late game, is they remax their army with front-end loaded production.
He also should not have lost that 4th base, because he could have warped in 11 units to deal with those Marauders.
And we do have the scan for the nuke.
That is a lot of Colossus.
And
a lot of Archons.
Wow, you scan and nuke, basically telling the Protoss where you're nuking, and he still loses Stalkers. This is highly unfortunate. I think Behemoth is just not able to keep on top of this game.
And there are no Vikings here.
Only Marauder. It doesn't matter. That's enough Marauders, even with the Archons.
Yeah, I guess that army is mostly Colossus, actually.
The micro technique that Nihility is perfecting here is stutter step away until the Zealots are gone. And, wow, then I would have liked to see him stutter step toward the Colossus there, because he really could have just torn those Colossus a new one. Colossus, not that great against Mass Marauder.
Colossus alone are not that great against Mass Marauder.
Well, but that's why you stutter step away.
Oh my god.
And
is this really going to happen?
What is Protoss missing?
Oh my god.
What does Protoss not have?
Gateway units? Observers? But it's okay.
Wow, that...
Colossi are really good.
Yeah, no, they definitely tank.
But they're gonna die to turrets. That turret gets a Colossus kill.
But again, we see the same mistakes out of Behemoth. No detection, no deep pylon. You know, he's got, what does he have here? At least 12, possibly more, idle warp gates back home that could be reinforcing this.
We have a nuke going down at the 3rd. A nuke probably going to go down here at the natural.
This is GG if Protoss uses warp gate. Does he not know he has that?
Oh my god!
Oh, this is... Oh, what? You moved into it! You moved into it! Away from the nukes! Away from the nukes, Protoss!
And we have GG called by Behemoth. And that was a pretty epic game, I do say. Alright.
Why don't the Protosses I meet on ladder play like that?
Yeah, I don't know. Alright, well, this has been a very awesome game. This is Kleistron signing off.
Quite the nuke fest.
Yep. Until next time.